You roll out of bed, check the headlines, and bam! Japan sends 6 warships to the Philippines. Not a single one, not a few, 6 of them. Full-on naval vessels. It's the kind of morning update that makes your coffee feel like rocket fuel. Here's the shocker. This isn't Tokyo just tossing hand-me-downs. This is a cold, calculated chess move across the entire Indo-Pacific board. A move that could change your life. How? Because we're not just talking about warships. We're talking about a signal to the world that if things go wrong, if trade routes are cut off and the global supply chain freezes, your wallet, your job, your entire future could be on the line. If you're interested in this topic, hit the like button, subscribe, and type interested in the comments, and I will give you a heart. The big question is, why should this matter to you? What does a fleet transfer thousands of miles away have to do with your family and your future? Because Japan isn't just handing over ship keys. It's delivering a playbook, a warning, and maybe even a preview of tomorrow's alliances. The Philippines just leveled up from a pawn to a rook with teeth. But before we get to the party, here's the twist. The Philippines isn't getting the kind of ships you might think. A lot of the headlines are missing the critical details. You see, the real deal is about patrol vessels, not heavy destroyers. So the million-dollar question looms. Is Japan truly boosting Manila's naval bite, or is this just a smoke and mirrors game meant to send a message to Beijing? That's where it gets exciting, because in this video, we'll break it down. What these vessels can really do, what Japan is signaling, how China's likely to react, and most importantly, what this means for the future of the Filipino people and the global economy. Ready? Buckle up. The saga of this strategic transfer may be the first chapter in a much larger Indo-Pacific thriller. So let's zoom out. Why would Japan, a nation long known for keeping military exports on a tight leash, suddenly transfer this much-needed naval hardware to the Philippines? This isn't Tokyo just cleaning the garage. This is strategic timing written in bold. Japan operates under some of the strictest arms export laws on Earth. Since World War II, their constitution has locked them into a quiet stance. Keep the gear at home, avoid playing arms dealer, and don't stir the water. But buried in those rules is a key exception. When national security and strategic interests collide, doors open. And right now, both doors are wide open. China has been muscling its way through the South China Sea, swarming reefs, blocking supply runs, and acting like the waters belong to them. Japan has its own standoff with Beijing over the Senkaku Islands. When Manila feels pressure, Tokyo feels the echo. 2 hot zones, 1 rising shadow. That's why this transfer isn't just goodwill, it's alliance building with deterrence attached. Japan is sending a clear message. Philippines, you're on the front line. We're standing with you. And Beijing, we're watching too. Now I'll throw it to you. If Japan's actions are a message, what is that message really? Is it a powerful statement of military might or something else entirely? Many reports gloss over the specific details of these vessels, but this is the headline worth circling. This transfer of patrol vessels is part of a new Japanese framework called Official Security Assistance, or OSA. It's not about gifting the biggest, most powerful war machines. It's about building a foundation. It's about creating a partnership that will have profound ripple effects for the entire Indo-Pacific. It's a move that could change the future of the Filipino people forever. But here's the twist. What exactly are these vessels, and can they really stand up to China's massive navy? The answer might surprise you. First, if you're finding this deep dive fascinating, please hit that like button so more people can see the truth behind the headlines. All right, let's crack open the hood on these vessels. What exactly do they bring to the Philippine Navy's table? Spoiler alert, they are far from floating museum pieces. Think of them as Swiss Army knives for the ocean. They are Japanese-built, highly capable patrol vessels that are perfect for what the Philippines needs most: maritime domain awareness. They are not the destroyers that headlines might suggest, but they're perfect for their task. Each comes equipped with modern navigation and surveillance systems. This means the Philippine Navy can now better monitor its own waters, identify intrusions, and respond to Chinese harassment. They are platforms ready for upgrades, new tech, and new missions. The crews that will man them are being trained by some of the best in the world. For the Filipino people, it's like stepping from a tired sedan into a turbocharged sports car. The ride's sharper, the learning curve is real, and the payoff is massive. But this isn't just about hardware, it's about a new chapter in defense ties between Japan and the Philippines. This is a tectonic shift. For decades, the Philippine Navy has carried an underdog label, but this new partnership flips that script. The real question looms: what happens if this partnership escalates? So we've established what Japan is doing and why. But what's the real reaction from the other side of the chessboard? What is Beijing doing right now? You can bet that every radar sweep and every sonar ping from these new vessels is being tracked in Beijing. To them, this isn't just a few vessels, it's a signal flashing red. China's state media has already condemned the deal, saying Japan is interfering in the region. China is trying to paint this as a dangerous, provocative act by Japan, a country it already has its own disputes with. They're trying to reframe this as a move that undermines regional stability. But is that the full story? Is this truly about stability, or is it about control? Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. The reality is China has been militarizing the South China Sea for years, building artificial islands and claiming territory that the international community has rejected. The Philippines has repeatedly been the target of Chinese aggression, from water cannons to laser attacks on their own patrol boats. When they are pushed back, they have no choice but to look for partners. This is where Japan steps in. This transfer of vessels isn't about starting a fight, it's about evening the odds. It's about giving the Philippines the tools to defend its own sovereignty without a single shot being fired. This is classic deterrence theory in action. You don't need the most powerful weapon, you just need to have enough to make the other side think twice before acting. And for a country like Japan, that's what this deal is all about. It's not about aggression, it's about pushing back on aggression. It's about a shared vision for a free and open Indo-Pacific. If you're ready to keep riding shotgun on stories that cut deeper than the headlines, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. It helps this channel grow and allows us to keep digging into stories that matter to you. Now let's get back to the core of this. This transfer is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The Japanese and the Filipinos just signed a new Reciprocal Access Agreement, or RAA, which is a game changer. What is that, you ask? Think of it like a defense pact, a deal that allows their armed forces to train together, share intelligence, and operate more closely than ever before. This is a massive shift, but here's the ultimate question. How do these two nations, one a former colonizer and the other a former colony, find themselves in a position to trust each other with their national security? And what does that say about China's growing shadow? On paper, an RAA sounds like a bureaucratic formality, but in reality, it is a tectonic shift in the strategic landscape. The RAA allows Japanese self-defense forces to deploy to the Philippines for joint training exercises. This is a big deal. For years, Japan was constrained by its pacifist constitution, but under a new interpretation and with a shared threat from China, that is all changing. The RAA allows the militaries to learn from each other, to share tactics, and to build the kind of trust that only comes from working side by side. This is crucial for the Filipino people. It means their military, which has been stretched thin and operating with older equipment, is getting access to some of the world's best training and support. It's not just about what they can do on the water, it's about their ability to defend their own territory and their own people. But what does this all mean for the common person, for the men and women of the Filipino military? The answer is this. The RAA isn't just about military-to-military cooperation. It's about people-to-people connections. Think about the shared history. Japan and the Philippines have a complicated past, a past that includes invasion and brutal occupation. But over the last several decades, they have built a deep bond. Japan is now one of the Philippines' most reliable partners, not just in defense, but in trade and development. This is a powerful message to the world, a message that says former enemies can become trusted allies when they share a common goal: freedom, security, and a future free from coercion. But there's a final, powerful piece of this puzzle that brings it all together. What is the one thing that both Japan and the Philippines have that gives them a shared strength to stand up to the world's rising superpower? And why does it matter to you right now? This is the part that will stick with you long after the video is over. It's not about ships, it's not about pacts, it's about the Filipino people. The true strength of the Philippines is its people, its diaspora, its resilience, and its iron will. China and its military can outspend, outbuilding, and outnumber the Philippines, but it can't break the spirit of the Filipino people. The Japanese know this. They know that in a long game of strategy and willpower, the human element is the ultimate decider. The Philippines isn't just an ally on a map, it's a partner with a heart and a soul, and that's something Beijing simply can't compete with. This entire saga of Japan sends 6 warships to the Philippines isn't a story of military hardware, it's a story of a nation finding its backbone, with a trusted friend at its side, and proving to the world that its future is its own. What we've seen today is the beginning of a much larger story. A story about a new kind of alliance built on shared values and a common threat. The saga of Japan and the Philippines isn't just a political headline. It's a story of survival, of a nation finding its power and its voice. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. The most surprising security partnership in the Indo-Pacific isn't between Japan and the Philippines. It's happening right now between Vietnam and a former rival. To understand how that alliance could change the game, you need to watch this video right here. Click that video and I'll see you there.